Welcome to today's episode of the Strong for Life podcast. I love doing these client interviews and getting them to share more about their experience in my online program, the Strong for Life Blueprint. And if you are someone who wants to learn how to get strong, lean, and pain-free without wasting hours at the gym each week, and you want to learn more about how my online coaching program works, feel free to click the link in the About section of this podcast, or you can also go to the link and website conorro'sheafitness.com/contact, and that's going to allow you to fill out a coaching application form. So that's conorro'sheafitness.com/contact, CONOROSHEA fitness.com/contact. So without further ado, let's jump into today's episode. Welcome to the Strong for Life podcast. I'm your host, Conor O'Shea, and today I'm joined by my client, Josh. Now, Josh and myself have been working together for over 12 months, and I'm super excited to jump into more about his story and how he's gotten on with the program. So, Josh, thank you for taking time out of your evening. I know you're very busy, so why don't you tell people a bit more about yourself, who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there.
You got it. All right. So my name is Josh. I'm 41 years old, and I currently am working from home. Like most people, I'm in the education industry. And so for the last 2 years, I've been planted right here in this chair, staring into the screen. So nothing new to here. But yeah, a little bit of my background more relevant to my experience with your coaching. About 16 or what's it, June now? About 18 months ago, so Christmas like 2020, I was messing around with some of my friends and we're jumping up and off the deck and seeing who could do, whatever, probably whatever 40-year-old shouldn't be doing. And yeah, I kind of twisted the hell out of my knee and it didn't get better, So for the first time, I kind of sustained this knee injury, and after 5 days of not being able to bend it at all, I was like, man, I'm going to the doctor. They didn't help. They gave me some painkillers, which I'm allergic to. So there's not much besides icing it. And yeah, it was pretty depressing. I think it got a little bit better after about a month, but I was very shaky. And, even going up and down stairs, I had I was a little bit nervous. And it got re-injured twice more in the next 3 or 4 months. So just as bad, or if not worse, as that initial pain. So yeah, I was losing hope. I'd gone to the doctor maybe 3 times at that point. And I was familiar. One day, I can't remember why, but I think you'd maybe emailed me, or I saw something on perhaps social media. You were talking about your work in rehab, and as most of these people probably don't know, I knew you from your time in Thailand, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I knew you'd kind of run through the whole entire gamut of the yoga and the holistic kind of stuff, but also the weight training and the martial arts, and you had the philosophy and a lot of thought behind not just the knowledge of the physical. So I was always interested in working with that as well. And yeah, just got in touch with you, and you set me up with the program, and here we are, 14 months later.
Yeah, for sure, mate. And I guess a good place. So basically, yeah, you did your knee, just got injured, and then of course it happened 2 or 3 more times after that, and you weren't really getting the kind of the help or support from the.
Yeah. And I should mention, I think I had put on the COVID-15 or so. I had definitely gained weight during the initial coronavirus lockdown, so that obviously contributed to it as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that kind of just inactivity, gone from being moving around, commuting, all this stuff, to basically just sitting all day in COVID
I used to have to
quarantine.
walk around the university campus, every day, go up and down 4 or 5 flights of stairs every day, multiple times. And then that just got switched to sitting in my chair, leaning back, throwing my feet up on the desk and, ordering delivery food all day. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, like the impact that has had on so many people. And then, of course, probably heavier and then just weaker from lack of activity. So
yeah,
jumped
absolutely.
off your porch, did something to your knee, so damaged it. Doctors weren't helpful.
Technically, this was jumping onto my porch. It's a worse idea. We're trying to see who had the best vertical, and it was not I. Yeah.
You learned the hard way. And
I did.
so let's maybe talk a bit more about that. So obviously you're frustrated, it's not getting better, it's actually just getting re-injured. Then you're kind of looking for different options. Obviously you're in Con Ken, so there mightn't be a lot of, stuff locally. So then you're looking online, and obviously it's COVID, but can you maybe talk about things you were skeptical about? Because you were looking for specifically rehab help. So what kind of things were going through your head when you were looking at it? Were there things you're like, will this work for me, or anything along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of going and having, the doctor solve my problem. And then this was, I think I went 3 times and was given the same painkillers, which, like I said, I'm actually allergic to painkillers. So they're like, no, this one will be okay. And same thing, I would break out in hives, and I was really losing hope as far as talking to the hospital about their kind of rehab services. They're like, only if you were, only if we were going to kind of check you in, or you don't have a serious enough injury. So it's kind of like, like, no, everything was kind of a dead end. So now I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm going on WebMD, all of these terrible ideas. Everything's getting more confusing, making me want to go back to the doctor and get further disappointed. So it was really just this running around in circles and getting, just getting more and more kind of hopeless and discouraged by it all. And at the same time, basically needing a cane because my knee hurts so bad. So I'm like, I'm 40 years old. Like, I know it's old, but it's not that old. But yeah, I mean, I think as far as like skepticism, yeah, I'm totally skeptical after watching YouTube videos, going to WebMD, going to all these medical professionals even, and no one being able to help me out. It didn't seem like, Zoom call with my buddy Connor should do it, but like I said, here we are, and I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, for sure, mate. No, it's what you're saying there. It's such a common cycle. Something's going on, and you're in a situation, you either get help or you haven't gotten help, and then the internet is amazing, but then it also is extremely overwhelming when you're kind of trying to make it work for you. And again, it can just cause more and more overwhelm. So let's talk about maybe the initial breakthrough that you might have had in the program when you were like, okay, like this is really working for me. Was there a specific moment maybe that you remember?
Oh, I mean, I think starting from the bottom where I was, almost every workout felt like a small victory, a major breakthrough. It's compared to not, walking. So yeah, I think there was a lot along the way. And, if I think about it like that, I'll tell you that the biggest breakthrough, I think, is when I stopped thinking about, every little accomplishment as a breakthrough, when it became a kind of a normalized part of my week, when I was doing, 4 workouts a week, for a couple months without sweating about it, without trying to come up with an excuse to not do it that day. When it just became a little bit more part of my routine, I felt like that's the real breakthrough.
Yeah, that's huge, mate. Especially, yeah, going from being very inactive, having gained weight to, building back this
I,
into
I
your
also
lifestyle.
lost, I also lost, 12 or 13 kilos, over that 10-month period. And most recently, just to flirt with the devil, I did jump off my porch to test that knee strength, see if it was there, and it was okay. I made it. I'm not going to try to jump back on, but jumping off, no
Awesome, mate.
problem.
Yeah, so let's
Yeah.
talk. So yeah, you obviously, dropped a lot of weight during the program. And then let's talk about results around the knee. So what sorts of things were you not able to do before, we started working together? And then what have you been able to do now since, coming through the program?
Yeah. So it was so bad. Like sitting down, I had to keep my left leg straight. Like I couldn't bend it at the knee. This is like it was in a cast because bending it was that painful. Getting out of bed, I'd have to like roll over and make sure it's my right leg going down because I couldn't put weight on my left leg. I could not cross my leg at all, so sitting cross-legged was impossible for me. And yeah, there's a fear of it either going out, like losing all of its strength, or being just shocked with this terrible pain if I twist it or do something the wrong way. So yeah, it's like living with living with a disability / living in fear. So yeah, it's terrible. But I'd say I felt progress probably the first 3 weeks, first month of your program, and like I said, slowly you just kind of stop noticing it, and when you kind of stop noticing it or caring or thinking about it, to me that was kind of the real breakthrough that this is not you know running and ruining my life anymore.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
but yeah, now I'm back to jogging, which I couldn't do for a year or for 6 months, whatever. And I didn't do for over a year because I was so unsure. But now I can feel that strength back. I'm comfortable with it. I can jog 3 or 4 kilometers now, and not nothing more. My brain is more tired than my knee or my legs are that. So yeah, I think that's great. I've started playing basketball, which is pretty risky, I think, with a recurring knee injury, but I'm just playing by myself at this point, and everything seems okay. I'm okay going up and down and making some pivots, and that says a lot, because I wouldn't dare have put any weight or pressure on that left knee 16, 18 months ago.
Yeah, that's huge, mate. That's massive, especially yeah, things like basketball, you're moving, side to side. And it's just really good that you're back in that position as well from being with your
Let's hope.
with a crutch or whatever. So it's huge. Yeah,
I
it's really
was,
good.
I was, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I had an umbrella. I had an umbrella cane for like 2 months, 3 months. Like I went to the hospital with a cane. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's maybe talk about who you think you'd recommend the program for, and also who would probably not be a good fit for the program.
I mean, everyone can do body weight training. Like everyone should do this kind of core strengthening sort of exercises, have it if you have an injury or not. So I don't know who I would exclude from the recommendations list, but I mean, my personal experience was a testament to how your targeted your targeted program really helped turn around a very serious injury. So I would say to all those out there, blurry-eyed from reading, WebMD and social media advice from your aunt on how to get rid of your injury, your ailment. Yeah, take that chance. It definitely worked for me. And like I said, I went to 3 different hospitals. I spent hours online. I watched all the YouTube. I mean, I tried stuff. Nothing worked. I re-injured it 3 times. But since working, since working with I can't remember, was this under Mobility Masters or a different name?
Strong for Life Blueprint.
Strong for Life Blueprint, right? So since joining the Strong for Life Blueprint, we're pretty injury free here. We're feeling good. So I couldn't recommend it any higher.
That's great, mate. Great to hear that, my man. And yeah, it's just been awesome to see you come through the program. Great to reconnect with you as well after 10 years ago in
For sure.
And
get up here next time you get to come back.
I know. I'll be back.
Next time you got a speaking engagement or something, a workshop you're running, swing up here for a weekend.
It would be nice, definitely, yeah. Because my brother, he's in Bangkok, so it's that'll be on the cards at some point in the next year or so. So awesome, mate. Really appreciate you taking time out of your evening, and excited for all of the stories you've told me going forwards as well with the new work opportunities. And yeah, again, just appreciate you sharing your experience. Okay.
Anytime, man. Anytime.